Okay, so this is a live trade that I'm in at the moment. I just called it into our chat group, which I'll just show you. So let me just come over to Facebook, and this is what you get when you join us. So in this one, I put GU, that's Great British Pound, United States dollar. A sell trade idea, but look at the time of day and the hour. The 62 is a bit flat. I'll explain that in a minute. And then I put the setup because I'm not a professional trader. I don't call signals. I tell people, show you what I'm doing and what I've learnt since May 2018. And then, we work together on things. So if you look at the hourly, this is given to you free as part of your package. It is a monthly subscription, but there's no contract, and you can come in for 7 days and try it for free. We also trade Bitcoin at weekends, and just let me stop sharing and go to my broker and put my stop profit in. Let me take a picture of that to prove it. It's a live account. Modify the order. I'm going to put the stop profit now for a risk-free trade to 132,951. Okay, so I've done that because we're not allowed to show profits percentages or entice you in with money. So here is the reversal point in the market. It's just copy and paste, and you can see the D points that's completed on the scan. 89% of the scans complete like this. We just follow the lines. I know it looks a little bit overwhelming at the moment. Sorry, let me just stop share again. I just need to save that as a scan for the moment, as a picture, so I can show people what I'm actually doing. Because the proof of the pudding is in showing you results. Gbpusd sell 18th November 1, because that's the first trade I've taken on this currency. Okay, don't save that and come back and share. Let's see how we're doing. So here we are. So often you'll get fake outs just before the hour, so you can see the scanner completed in London session, which is the biggest of the three. You can see there's Tokyo, the green one, and price went up quite a lot, so it's now correcting itself, and my alert's gone off at 10 pips. So as soon as you get into a trade, we've got the three confirmations. I'll go through that in a minute. And what I meant by being a bit flat, you're going to decide how you're going to get out of the trade, and that gives you the confidence to be non-emotional and to know what you're doing when you're risking your real money. So 10 pip stop profit in, and I've put stop profit in now at here, so it's a little bit tight. It's a little bit tight because ideally you'd run 3 pips behind the 62 EMA. Because of the broker's commission, so it can reverse up on you, but at least now I'm not going to give any money back to the market. So I'm looking at these previous levels. You can see where price has stalled out on this unbroken white line, and that's how the 1 minute would appear on the 15 minutes. So I'm looking around about this area, this zone here, between about 15 pips to about 25 pips to get out of the trade. So let me come back. Let me just magnify it for you. So what do I mean by, so it's dropping very sharply. What do I mean by it's a bit flat? So before the hour, which was here, 5 p.m. UK time, we had our confirmations. So what we do is, I'm not sure, I thought I had it saved up there. So we have a trade sheet that we use for confirmations. Those are pitchfork touch. So we've got 10 pip break and a retest. We've got a mathematical line of support and resistance, the orange dotted, and the white dotted pitchfork. So those are our three confirmations. Then once you see all that stall out, so we had a stall out here for, that's what I meant about it being flat, but that's also a good sign because it says price wants to drop off the edge of the cliff. So we had that for half an hour, and then I got into the trade just as it did that, and you can see that wick up to it retested the pitchfork, but the wick, it closed much further down. It just couldn't sustain. There was no real trading, no real volume there. So here it is coming down, and price will always flow like a river. You'll only get sudden drops up and down if it's doing a news red flag news reaction, and you know, so I've not got long to wait here. I just want that 62 to come down a bit more, because if it starts to come back up, price will always want to test levels. But GU is not a hugely fast pair, it's kind of mid-range. Now you can look over here as well, because normally the GBPs and the euros will move in opposite directions. So I've got a mix here going on. I've got some euros are still selling, some euro against the USD is buying. And then on the GBPs, I've got a CAD, which is a very fast one. GN selling 0.33, so that was at 0.4, so that is coming down. And look at your timing here on the 1 minute. So this is a nice flat top sell candle, 39 seconds left to run. So flat top, that's good. That means there's solid volume in that sell, unlike that spiky wick. And we had what we call an indecision candle here. That little one, that little blue one there. So price 50-50, not sure what it wanted to do. And we are below this 10 pips. So I'll just take that 10 down to, so 961. So that's 861, 811 is going to be 15 pips. So 10 pips stop loss. I put it, actually, I rounded it down, so 9.9, but call it 10 pips, is 2%. So 5 pips is 1% profit, 10 pips, 2%. And just going to look at that. It depends on your broker's fee, so I'm only 1 pip behind on that at the moment. 30 seconds left to run. So, but because of that big arc that we saw, I'm fairly confident it's not going to go right up to that 62, because price will always want to come back to that, but it has dropped quite a way away from it now. But it will stall out. This stalling out is good. That doji is good. That flat top there is good. The wick off that candle is good. So just a few seconds left to run on that candle. And let's see what the next one opens as. So that's a flat top green for sell. So that is good. And we just want it to come down. So it's at 286, 287. So we have got a wick at the bottom there. So let me just see how many pips behind I am now. 1.5, that's good. Just want to get it to about 3 pips behind to be safe. So rather than stop sharing screen and pushing my stop loss back up, I'll leave it where it is at the moment, because it's getting late in the day as well. But a little bit of a retrace going on there, just a little bit of a retrace. But you see those strong pushes down there. Now let's have a look at our half-hour candle, because we're coming up to 30 minutes past the hour, and see what that tells us. I do like to look at that. And you can see that on the half hour, 29 minutes left to run on this one that's just opened. But you can see this strong engulfing and off the pitchfork, off the quarter theory. Nice big long strong sell candle, and here we are coming down here as well. So super duper, that's looking good. Come to the 15-minute, that's in our favor. The 5-minute in our favor, and below the 62 nicely there, and then back to the 1 minute where we like to stay. And the reason we stay on the 1 minute is because it's being on the 1 minute that enables us to use a very small stop loss, and the stop loss is our profit regulator. Just look at the settings, make sure I've got them correct. 961, 299, that's 9.9, and 200 is 20. So that's you put the point there, that's a pipette at the end. That's this little tick. So that is now coming down nicely, and I prefer trades. This is why I like doing London best. I prefer trades where I'm not in them very long. It is more difficult in the winter to get the pips out, but we get 20 pips per trade goal. We're looking for 25 pips a day, 2 days a week, 50 pips, and a pip can be worth depending on your account size, we only risk 2%, and that can be worth $10 a pip and multiples thereof, or a mini lot, which would be 0.1, which would be $1 a pip, and then a micro lot, which is what you'll use when you're starting off, which is 0.01. Okay, so the alarm's just going to go off again. Dog's going mad at the cat. Sorry about that. Have you heard him woofing a bit, growling? He's not vicious. He's just all bark, no bite. So this is good. So I know I'm aiming round about this area here. Anything from that 15 to the 20, there's the 50, because it could just come to test this 15-minute line. Price does like to do that, but you see that previous area of resistance here, there. So price does like to come back to these major levels. So here to here is what I'm looking at to get out the trade. I'm now risk-free, so my money isn't at risk back to the market. And that is now at 2.2, so it was at 1, so that's moved in my favor because I like it at 3 pips behind, especially on a sell. That's the difference in the bid and the ask price. So the bid, which is what the is being given to you as a sell, and then the buy price is the ask. So that's bid and the ask is the terminology. And then what you can do as well, although you can clearly see what's happening, you can look at your pivots. So we want lower highs. They're the same, but there's a lower high nicely below the pitchfork and the quarter theory, and a lower low. So that shows you this channel. This channel, this upward channel with higher lows and higher highs, has now switched and is coming down, as you can see from this arc. And another thing we can do, we use this for exits, is put on our Hull MTFA multi-time frame analysis. Sorry, it's going to look really bright, but that's a 15-minute band in the background. So you can see it's turned to red over the 15 minutes. This is our 1 minute, tiny little blip back to green, all the way down to red, tiny blip back to green. And it's a lagging indicator by about 30%. So it's green there. Well, this would be a better one. It's red there, about 30% before it actually turns to red on the 15-minute. Okay, so that shows you over the slightly longer time frame what price is actually doing. So once this alarm goes off at 15 minutes, I might start to push down to make my 5 pips at 1%. So from there to here, which is 910. I like to move this line. That's just jumped, as you can see. 910 would mean I would have 1% profit. Now, it doesn't sound very much, but even if everything reversed on me, if I did that, and I've only been in this trade something like an hour, which is a bit slow, but that's time of day as well. if I did 1% on some extra trades, because normally we're aiming for 4%, if you remember, 20 pips, 10 pips is 2%. If I did that 100 times over the year in my trading, I will have put another 100% on my account. That's why we love this strategy. The preciseness, the small stop loss. You've got to, at 2% risk, you've got to lose 50 trades in a row to blow your account. It keeps you nice and safe while you're learning. Demo, demo, demo. Do 100 demo trades before you go live. And when you go live, do a micro lot size on a small account. Don't put a lot of money in there, even if you've got it, at 0.01%, just to get used to pressing the button, get used to getting the computer brain, like driving, getting it programmed, and getting the emotions out of the way, so you know and you trust the indicators to work. Because I knew this was going to happen. I had to say in the chat group, you know, beware time of day, the hour, because some people are at different stages of learning. So 10 minutes before the hour, and the 62 is very flat. But I knew all that stall out was very, very good for a drop off the edge of the cliff. It's patterns in the market. They repeat time and time and time again. But equally, the other thing I like is that no 2 days are the same. There's red flag news, currencies move at different speeds, there's different things happening, fundamentals, the politics of the world. Then there's technical analysis, which is what this is. And then there's sentimentals, which is the feeling of the market and psychology of it. So here we have the flow of the market. It will always flow like a river, like that. It doesn't move in straight lines unless it's red flag news, which will cause big drops or spikes. So hopefully we won't be in this trade too long. I can go and get some dinner and put the log fire in and walk the dog, whatever else you're doing today. And it's just nice to finish the day to show you how to run a live trade. And show you the pivots again, see what's happening on that. Just an easy way, switches them on for you. So I'm expecting any minute now it will form a new lower low. It hasn't done it just yet. 2851,961. So we're about 9 or 10 pips in profit, but slightly under because of brokers, the broker's fee for placing the trade. So my stop profit, if you remember, is still up here. It's just still sitting up here, just above this previous high, just for a risk-free trade. I haven't yet moved it on my broker and my trading account to here. That's my next aim. But if price reverses on me to test that 62, because that's its natural resting line, there it's a line that a lot of professional traders use, then I need to be at least 3 pips behind to cover me for the broker spread, so I'm not taken out of the trade. So, but I put that there to remind me that that's my next angle, is getting 1%, and then this 10 to 15% down to the 20 pips down here, and then if I could run it to there, even better, 22 pips. 22 pips. So that's what we're aiming at. So this is why I like this strategy. It's very, very clear. It looks like a lot of lines, but it's simply copy and paste. It's highly accurate because it's all based on something called Fibonacci, those 5 reversal points in the market off the scan. And then these lines here called pitchforks, which are highly aggressive trend lines. They're based on Fibonacci. Once they're put on, they are so accurate. Look at that, how that's to the pip. Look at this, to the pip. There, in a 6.6 trillion a day market, to the pip, that wick off that pitchfork. It's so powerful. And as I say, I like it because of the small stop losses, and you'd have to lose 50 trades in a row to blow your account. And that's at risking 2%. So it's such a fabulous thing to build your confidence. It really, really is, because you can do your 100 demo trades. Sometimes I've done 70 or 80 in a day testing a strategy, but then I work at home all the time, so my time's my own. And then move to, don't put 1,000 in. You don't need to. You just need to put 50 or 100 $250, whatever your preference is, and get good at taking very low lot sizes, 0.01, a micro lot to start at 2%. Get the confidence up, because the psychology switches once you switch the live money. And then once you've done 100 of those, and you can do those fairly quickly, then you are good to go to increase your account or lot size, okay? And it's a different lot size according to the currency pair. They're not all equal, and we just work them out at the beginning of a week on a Sunday using the Forex calculator, pip calculator. myfxbook.com is what we use, and don't adjust them in the week, because you'll get a false reading. You just want to do it at the beginning of the week and use that same lot size. Otherwise, again, you're not comparing like with like. And if you want to work with us at weekends, then we do the Bitcoin trading at the weekend using very successful exclusive indicator. Very simple, but that's just simply win or lose, one pipette over the line, no lot sizes to work out, no stop losses, and all that sort of thing. I must say I've always been very disciplined from day one. I've never played around, very, very rarely played around with my stop loss, because that's often what causes Forex traders to get into so much trouble. They'll think, oh, you know, I think it's going to carry on going down. I'll just move it another 5 pips. I'll just move it another 10 pips. And it's absolutely lethal. And I must say, I've always stuck to the 2% with the 10 pip stop loss and just done what I'm told of the people, the educators I've learnt the strategy off. And that's what makes it so successful. So we've built up a good following, as you saw in the chat group. People love the pitchforks. And we're only on the 1 minute chart, so we don't get stuck in consolidation or trades for hours on end. So what time are we at? So just coming down now. So that 62 is now 5.3, 5.2 pips away from my entry. So 3 pips away from my entry is, or I should have done it the other way around, shouldn't I? 5.2, so I want 2.2 away from my entry. 132940, so I could be moving it down 2 pips. That's really what I should be doing now. So 3 pips behind would be 1.32939. There. So I'll just stop sharing while I do that. 1.32939. Just squeeze out those extra pips at this time of year. Share screen again. Okay, so that means if the worst comes to the worst, 2.5 pips, and I am $935. There. Just let me stop sharing again. 935. 935. I like to squeeze it out this time of year. Oh, I've got it down at 932. Sorry, so that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Settings. 932. So nice and tight. So if price comes up to test that, I should still be in the trade. The broker won't have taken me out because that covers their fee. And I've made a couple of pips, which is what we call sludge really, but at least it's not a loss. So, and what, you know, the question is, how do I grow my account? How do I compound my account? How do I win at this business? And the answer is don't lose. That's what I was taught when I asked the educator that. He said, just don't lose. So, you know, that isn't losing. So that's great. Even if 1 pip stop profit, I'm not losing. So that's how you win at this game. Just take it nice and steady, and you will get ones which run down more quickly, you know, where you bag your 20 pips, 25 pips done for the day. It's about few good quality trades. Few good quality trades. So it's slightly late in the day, 5:45 UK time, and you know, it's getting a little bit late for me to trade in New York, and it's winter, and you know, you've got COVID, you've got vaccines, you've got US elections, you've got Biden being pro European Union and the Irish agreement. You've got Brexit with the talks. You know, you've got quite a lot of factors mixed in this winter session before Black Friday. After Black Friday, mid-December through to mid-Feb, we get fewer scans, but that's okay. We can still use our old pitchforks to trade. You just build your library up. Just move that along slightly. And I know it looks like I'm being very fiddly, but it's just the way I've got used to running it, and I like to take care of my pips. It's like if you take care of the pennies, the pounds take care of themselves. They really do add up. So I had made the 10 pips. I can see that nice little flow. We're still well below that 62. I really like that area of support and resistance back there. I really like where the position of the 15-minute line is, because price does like to play between the two. It does like to come and test that 15-minute, even if it goes back up again. And I really like this whole zone here. So I'm pretty confident as things stand that we'll make our 15 to, how many pips would that be? 6, 1. So down to the 15-minute would be 17, 18 pips. There's the 20, and then that line there, even to there, if it hits it, just slips slightly below, would be 25 pips, and that's your daily goal done. Daily goal done in, let me just have a look, in, let's put it there, that'd be daily goal done, it's 36 minutes, let's call it an hour. You know, and I mean, that's a phenomenal return where a pip can be worth 10 pips, $10 a pip, $10 a pip, or multiples thereof at 2%, depending on your account size. So that's just so powerful for diversifying your income, taking control of your own economy, even if you've got a job. If you're too busy to do this in the week, can't make an hour a day in your break time or lunch time or early morning, Tokyo, early London, or after you're home with the kids in bed after supper, you can come and do this. Weekend, you can do the Bitcoin trading for us an hour, Saturday morning, an hour, Sunday morning. Or like me, you can trade full time. I have got a couple of winter lodges in at the moment, but I used to be very busy running around doing daily bed. I didn't do breakfast, but B&B, gîtes, we call it over here, self-catering, toilets, making beds, seeing guests in and out. And of course, COVID put paid to all that, because I came to France mortgage-free, but I had to run a business. So just for me to be able to sit quietly here, TV on in the background, I'll light the fire. It looks a bit dark behind me. Sorry, I haven't had time to light the fire today. But I've been running calls and talking to people, helping people, showing them what we do. People asking to sign up. How much is it? What do we have to do? I've been posting some live trades on my YouTube channel. So, you know, it's an enjoyable way to work. You don't have to do all that. All you have to do is an hour a day like this, make your 20, 25 pips. You're aiming for 2 of those a week. That's 50 pips. Job done. Job done. I'm going to stay on a little bit longer. We are coming up to 10 minutes before the hour, when you can get price moving back the other way a bit before it carries on its sweet way. So the 10 minutes before the hour, I could pause the recording here for 10 minutes and then start it up again, because it may well come back up to here before it carries on down. I'll just check the pivots again. And again, you see, you don't have to work any of this out. It's all done for you. Ah, great. You remember I said earlier on, I was confident we'd see a lower low coming up, and we've got a nice lower there, lower low there at 1.32820. So that's 10 pips further down. So that's fantastic. So that means the channel is there. It's pushing down. It's just flowing back. May test that line before carrying on. And there it is coming up in this 10 minutes before the hour. You just get rid of the pivots. You don't need any more on the screen than you have to have. Keep it nice and clean. Keep it simple. And don't over leverage. Don't increase your percentage, and don't over trade. And stay disciplined, and you'll be absolutely fine. I actually find it very enjoyable now, because as I say, I have the TV on, go and make a drink in the kitchen. This is like my family room, and I don't have to run around all day washing, ironing, and hoovering and cleaning out toilets and baths. I'm very grateful, and it's very nice to have people around the house, and it's nice to meet French families, and I did enjoy that. But when you get older, you don't really want to be working as hard as you used to, and young people don't want 9-to-5 jobs, 40 hours a week. They've got a phone and they say, well, what can I do online? My daughter's 20. She's grown up with nothing but phones and technology, and people are looking for new ways to diversify their income, take control, build a sideline, and you can do all that now. That's one benefit of COVID, has been that everybody knows what Zoom is, and everybody knows how to work from home and use their phones and find online opportunities. And that's all this is. It's an online digital exchange of currencies. People will always exchange currencies. The world will always tick over. People will always be buying and selling. So when I saw that this was a 6.6 trillion a day market, I thought, well, I'll have a slice of that. I'm going to learn how to do this. And I locked in on one strategy, and now I've added in the Bitcoin trading at the weekend, and that gives me everything I need and more. And as you know, I've been trading now, live trading for people for over a year now, 5 days a week. I now do 2 days a week, sometimes do some extras. And I just do the London session. And I do that Wednesdays and Thursdays. So you can see price now, about 5 minutes before the hour. It just wants to come and test that area. And this is why, you just need to build your confidence that these things work. It's all repeatable patterns in the market. And it runs like your heart does, like the tides do, like the sun does, like the moon does. It's patterns, and it's not random. It is not random. So that's what we love about it. And as I say, you can have your game computer on, you could be listening to self-development, you can have an audio book on, you can get up and walk away. I just set alerts, I keep my phone with me. If it beeps, I can come back, or you can just trade on your phone. Don't have to, or your iPad, but you just need a basic PC for this. You don't need anything fancy. Don't need anything fancy. Except an internet connection, obviously. So here we go. So it might be another 5 minutes, because we're just before the hour, and often it will fake out to the upside or test that 62. But if I look at how far that is off, it's only off 0.9 of a pip, and a 6.6 trillion a day market. I sort of consider that a touch. So now let's have another look at how far away our 62 is. I only want 5 pips. So, sorry, I only want 3 pips away, 923. So I'm going to move that to 9, squeeze a bit more money out. 923, stop share, change it on my 923. 923. I'm 9 pips in profit. Share screen. So 3.67, that's the brokers. 10.79, 1.7 pips is the broker's fee. You'll always get that. So when you start a trade, it will normally say minus like 0.7. It can vary. Some pairs have bigger spreads than others. So 55. I was tempted to pause the recording and then come back so you're not hanging around for another 5 minutes. I might do that for 5 minutes. So what I'll do is just leave that there so you can see where I've paused the recording, and then I will come back just after the hour and continue the recording, because by then we should be able to complete the trade. Okay, so I'm going to carry on now just to show you not all trades probably work out perfectly, which is absolutely fine. To show you the reasoning, if this does take me out, because my stop profit now is at 5 pips, which is 1%. And remember that 5 pips can be worth $10 a pip or multiples thereof, depending on your account size, which you will build up. So this pink arrow shows where I stopped the recording. So you weren't sort of sitting around with me, because that was 10 minutes before the hour. And then you can see it perfectly touched the 62. I said it was probably going to do that. It wicked off that, but it's now just pressing up slightly. So, and as I said that, it is still moving, because I was really fairly confident because of this bell curve and the previous lines of resistance, support and resistance over here, that this wanted to carry on going down. This is why I don't want to panic if it slips through, but equally because of the time of day, and it's winter, I thought, well, I'm going to move I moved it to 2.2 pips away from the 62 instead of 3. So it was a little bit tight, but is GU, so the spread is a bit less. But that would have given me 1% profit. And as I said, 100 trades over the year, just making an extra 1% is a doubling of your account, And so once you're confident with what you're doing like this, it suddenly started to move. I'm still in the live trade. I will take a screen grab of my pips at the end, and I know exactly what I'm aiming for, which is this 15 pips, 15-minute line, 15 pips here where this alarm is set, 20 pips the trade goal, and which would be here, 20 pips there, and then 22 pips is here. And if I could get it to 25 pips, that's a daily goal just off this one trade. So this is absolutely fabulous. It's running down very nicely now. This is why you don't want to panic. And I was a little bit tight there, a little bit tight. Should have kept it at 3. It's a judgment call, because you're thinking, well, I want my 1%, but equally, if it whacked up a little bit more, it might have taken me out. But I did like this whole setup. So this is our next point of what we're aiming for. And this is why I love this strategy. So just to remind you, if I come up to the 5 minute, just so you can see my previous lines of resistance here. So it might be better on the 1 minute actually. Show you on that there. So that's why I'm aiming for that 25 pips round about this area here. If we just take that down to 25, I'm not sure it'll run, because price, like, it could if price rejects off that pitch, it might reject off the 15 minute or reject off this pitchfork, which is exactly let me just find that level there, exactly at that level there. So if I got 25 pips, that's absolutely fantastic. You don't want to be greedy. I'm certainly not going to wait for it to come down here. I don't care about that today. I don't care about that at all. I care about 15 pips which is 3% off a 10 pip stop loss here. 10 pip stop loss, 9.9 because I rounded it down. So I'm at 5 pips profit. I've set my stop loss to stop profit on my trading account and my live account. So I've already bagged 1%. You might say, well, why aren't you setting it to 10 pips? So 10 pips is there, just about there. And the reason is that it's halfway down that candle and it's not behind this previous high. So the most I could do at the moment, that is 3 pips now, would be to take it down to 1.5, another 1.5 pips to just behind the previous high and the 62. So, but it is pushing down nicely. So we're just going to let it run. Just going to let it run for a minute because I've got the 62 still coming down, and I've left myself a bit of padding now because I've got that 1%. So I'm happy with that at the moment, and I'm keeping an eye on each candle. Obviously, price does like to work its way down like a river. You see that nice little flow back to the 62 and a big push down. So that actually is our 15 pips. The alarm hasn't gone off. Just that 15 pip, it's just wicked off it. It could have set the alarm off, but it hasn't. So just on edging, nudging that 15 pips. 9.11. 9.11 is 3 pips behind that 62. 9.11 there, 3 pips behind the 62. That's keeping you safe in the trade. And this will be just over an hour for this money from, can't remember exactly where I got in. There was the break and the retest. Stall out. Oh yes, because it was stalling out. That's right. So I told people about the stall out. I didn't get in at that point. So we've now, this is 1 hour, 2 minutes, which is not bad for a day's work. If you can get it down to that. It's just pushing down again. Nice little wick off that buy candle, showing it can't fill that volume. It's not real volume. It tried to push up, but it couldn't. And you have to give price room to breathe, as I call it. You have to give it room to breathe. A number of times in the past, I've set my stop loss too tight and been taken out of the trade. So, you know, but you just learn these judgment calls as you go along and find your own little way of trading. I like to put these lines on. A lot of people don't. Then I don't have to think about anything. You know, well, I do, but, you know, I don't, you know, it's kind of, I know what I'm doing. I know why they're there. That's the important thing. And I know where I am with my profit. Got the 62 pushing down like a ceiling. Just coming up to the 15-minute candle, so we'll have a look at that. We've got 6 seconds left to run. What do I mean by that? Have a look here. So you can see that little doji candle. You can see the push up on the buy candle, but it really had not a lot of volume in it. Big engulfing sell candle. And the new one, the new 15 minutes opening as a sell as well. What does that look like on the 5-minute? A hammerhead blue one, which means it's going to be followed by the opposite one. So there is a big green sell candle, wicked off on the buy, a little bit of a push up on the 5-minute, but not really having a lot of success, as you can see by the wicks above, which is showing you the highest it reached, but that's not where it's going to close. And then back on the 1-minute, just come back down to my usual size format. No, so normally I wouldn't be sat here fiddling around like this. It's because I'm showing it to you. So I'll just set the alerts. So 3.5 there. So we could move that down a little bit to there, which would give us 2.7902. So I could move that. I haven't actually moved it on my broker to there. So then I've squeezed out 6 pips, and at $10 on a full lot size, $10 a pip. You know, that's why you want to be practicing when you're on small slot size, small account sizes, small lot sizes, because it really matters once you start growing your account. And that alarm's going to go off any minute. So you can see how price just flows like a river, just does its little bit of retracing up to the hour, and then we can see it, we know it wants to go down. So I like this stall out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes of stall outs. The 62 pushing price down, and 132,900. I'll stop share. Just change my. So I'm at 10.7 pips profit. 900. Squeeze out a little bit of extra. I'm just going to take a screen grab of this as it pushes up to 11 pips. Then people will see it's on my real account. And the other thing is, I deliberately do not look at the money amount either, because it's very, very good practice. You don't want to be doing that and scaring yourself. There it is, 12.6, 12.5, just wavering around. It's pushing down to 13. It's really moving now, 13.5. So share screen again to show you. There we are. So I moved that down to 900. Oh, I just need to stop share a minute while I take a screen grab of that. So I've got it saved. Just save it as a PowerPoint file, save as. Just bear with me 1 second. JPEG, GU, cell. Put number 2 on that. So it's the second screen grab. Just that one. Don't save that. Share screen. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You see that nice doji candle in there? Indecision candle followed by a flat top green one. So that nice stalling out all at the level below the 62 shows you that price is carrying on down, because that's pushing down. Look at the angle on that caused by that long green down candle there. Nice time as well. 20 past the hour, not coming up to the 10 minutes before the hour or anything like that. And price will want to move between major levels. Now, it is winter, you don't always get full moves, but I'm hoping I've got mine now at minimum of 6 pips profit there. And I could squeeze out a bit more, 3. No, I'll leave it where it is. That's exactly 3 pips behind. I'm going to leave it as it is. I could close out now, but I like the fact I've got this stall out. I think it wants to come down further. Could be wrong, but that big candle there tells me that, plus 10 minutes of stalling out. And that, if I magnify it for you, if you look here, the candles always tell the story. So buy, sell, buy, indecision, sell, buy. Big indecision there, which actually is a green indecision, come to think of it. So that might not be too good for us. But even if it goes wrong in the sense of not getting the full move, I still want to show it to you as a learning lesson. I've got 6 pips out. Yes, I've spent an hour on it, but it's better than losing. Not all trades move the 20 pips, the 25. time of day, all that good stuff. And I know I've secured 6 pips. That's 3 pips behind. I don't want to squeeze it any tighter. It's a judgment call, but that doji candle on the sell might mean that could just come up to the 62 and carry on down. I've had that happen obviously before, but you know, until it passes the 62 and says I finished my move, thank you very much, I don't want to do any more today, then you don't know. So again, you could put your hull on to see the 2 flips of the hull, big flips, not tiny flips, or you can put a 1 minute trend line on, which would be like this. And if price passes through that, first of all, because whilst you're to the left hand side, you want as many touches as you can, not on current price, but something like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 touches. So if price starts to break above there, then you know it's a good idea to get out the trade. So I could then close it and say, okay, I could grab another 3 pips. So we'll see. But then this is how you run a trade, you know, time of day as well. That's why I like to do London if I can. But you've got to pick your hour trading, you know, according to your work and other commitments. But London's the biggest session. It is a little bit late for me to be trading, and it is winter. So, and you tend to get smaller pippage in the winter. It gets a bit smaller. But I think this is a good learning lesson for you. I hope it is. Hope you're enjoying it. And we'll see how we get on. Looks to me like it might want to come up. So I think actually I'm going to close the trade at around 9 pips. But I will leave it marked up. So I'm just going to stop the share because that's 10 pips, so 9.8. So I'm just going to close that order there. Okay, so that was a good trade. That's a good trade there. Okay, so let me see what's happening with it. Dog wants his dinner, I want his dinner. I can see it's pushing back up, and I've got the 1 minute on the 62 there. So I'm going to take that off. I think time of day and everything else, I actually think it's finished its move for today. I mean, I could be wrong, you know, I'm not saying I'm some guru. I'm not a professional trader. This is just what I've learned. So I saw all that stall out. I thought that meant it was going to carry on down because I saw that indecision candle on the green, which is a sell candle. I thought, oh, that means it's going to, that means I think it's turning. So, and I'm 3 pips above that. So I've gone for the 10 pips. It's 9.8, but I've gone for the 10, call it 10 pips instead of coming away with 6, just letting it run back. Now, if it runs back down to 15, which was round about that line there, if you remember, then, you know, I could have made 5 the other way, but then I've got to sit and see if I can squeeze out the 20 or 25, and it's late in the day. So all those things come into play. And don't feel bad or sad if that starts to run down. Be happy with the decision you've made and the reasons why you've made your decision. And then you will end up, you know, trading well, trading confidently, and trading happily. I'm actually going to put that line back on actually, because I'll take that screen grab to put this on YouTube when we finished, and hopefully you've learned something from following that today. You can always go to your own trading view and look at the time. If you're in the UK, that would be 16:25 to see what actually happens with the trade. I've made my decision. I've sat here long enough, and of course now you can see it moving down. But you know, that's good. It's all good. It shows you what analysis we've undertaken and why. And you know, I will be replaying it to watch myself. What could I have done better? Should I have sat here longer? Should I have stuck with it, or was I right? And it doesn't matter either way. I'm not trying to run a competition or say, hey, I'm some big ego, I'm right. I'm just looking at the candles, looking at the time of day, looking at what's happening and making a judgment call on what money I've made, what more money I could make, how much longer I've got to sit in it, where I think it's going to go to because of that previous line of support and resistance. Can you see how the 62 is curling off slightly? Just curling off there. Now it can flow as a river, it can then drop again. But as I say, it's time of day for me. I don't usually trade much later, ever. Don't do a lot in New York anyway, than New York tea time. So I'm just going to stop sharing and stop the recording and say thank you for joining me, and I hope that was useful for you.